Well, it looks like Megan Rapinoe still doesn't get it. She is still complaining about equal pay. Of course, if you actually look into this, it all had to do with the contact structure that the women's team took compared to the men's. But really, I just want to talk about this whole situation, what happened. You know, the U.S. national team, massive favorites, they lose to Sweden really early on, and then she comes out crying, saying it's all about equal pay, we deserve it. There's a few different things here to unpack. Number one, there were two different structures when it came to the contracts. The men's team chose a structure that was a lot more risky, but you had the ability to earn more if you made it further and sold more tickets and advertisers and ratings. That's the whole other, this whole situation with equal pay. It's like when the WNBA says it, it's even more crazy because the idea of equal pay, what are you talking about equal pay? If you want equal pay, you need to get equal ratings. The only reason the WNBA exists is because the NBA turns a profit and then that enables them to fund the WNBA. The WNBA is in the red basically every year, and yes, it is very hard to run a sports league, but the idea that they want equal pay in the WNBA when their league doesn't even generate revenue, what you want equal pay? You don't play as many games, you don't play as many minutes, there's nothing equal about it. And then when it comes to this situation, again, equal pay, you need to have equal ratings. Now, this is a whole thing to where it turns out the U.S. women's team, they were getting good ratings, but unfortunately, because of the contract structure that they took, which was a lot safer, they did not earn as much as they thought they should have earned. It has nothing to do with society being sexist. They chose the wrong contract. They throw a hissy fit, and then they settled in court because it was a whole political thing. And I think they settled for $24 million or something like that. And then they lose this match against Sweden. They go in as massive favorites. Everyone in America is already turned off by it because they were running commercials that they were going to run through the tournament. Of course, when you compare soccer between the sexes, it is not comparable. Other countries spend virtually no resources on the female leagues compared to the male. That is why a lot of the other countries' female teams are so weak, and it's so easy for the United States to run roughshod as opposed to the male side of it where we tend to struggle. But either way, guys, that is the situation with Megan Rapinoe coming out and claiming that equal pay was her favorite memory of playing. Completely fake. They chose a safe contract structure. That is why you got less money. The problem was what you chose, and then you sued because you chose something that was not good. You wanted something. Listen, if you want a safe structure, that's perfectly fine. There's no problems with it. But you can't turn around and say, oh, they made more than us, they being the men. Well, yeah, they made more than you because they chose a structure that was not as safe, not as guaranteed. But if they hit certain incentives, they were going to make a lot more money. You can't choose the safer option and then cry about it and say it's sexism that you're not making more. That is completely ridiculous. And then you cry after you lose. And then, there was reports, I don't know if these are true, that she was bullying players who were not sitting or kneeling for the national anthem. It is completely anti-American, of course. Standing versus kneeling for the national anthem. People say, is it respect? Is it disrespect? I always think, yes, it is a form of disrespect to the military, even though I know some military members say they don't care. The issue is, why else would we stand? You stand to respect and honor the military. That's why you stand. Otherwise, no one would stand. It is a respect thing, but I'm not going to get into that. That's the whole bigger issue with the standing versus kneeling for the national anthem. Another argument about the bonuses, when you look at male versus female, that they're talking about, the reason those bonuses are so steep is, let's just say, for example, the U.S. men's team won the World Cup. I think they would probably generate 20 or, I don't even know, I'm just spitballing, 20 or 30 times more money than the women's team winning it. And that's not me being sexist. That's just a realistic expectation. So obviously the bonuses for the male side is going to be significantly higher because if they win, they're going to bring in significantly more revenue. It's all based on revenue. It's all based on viewership. It is not sexism. The problem is the viewership. If you have the same viewership, you're going to get the same bonuses. President Biden has come out and says he's proud of the women's U.S. soccer team who suffered a humiliating loss in Sweden. What exactly is Biden proud of? Biden doesn't even know any of these ladies' names. Biden, he didn't put this statement out. One of his advisors did. And it's just pure political posturing because this team is seen as like the progressive, anti-American. Oh, yeah. How many of these people, they hate anti-American? Oh, yeah. How many? You know what? I'm going to do a dissection on why people are really anti-American. It really is crazy. How about Vivek Ramaswamy getting significant headlines? This is like the third NBC article I've seen. It says that he implied that American involvement in the war in Ukraine may be because of Biden's son, Hunter Biden. And we know all the stuff that's come out about Hunter Biden. It is crazy that it's looking more and more likely that, yes, Joe Biden is significantly more corrupt than Trump. Everything's coming out now. He lied throughout the entire campaign trail. The media doesn't even question it. He was lying to everyone. And it is a strategy, you would think. Like, let's go back to the campaign, the 2020 campaign. There's a few questions about Hunter Biden. He denies. That is his strategy because his advisors knew even if there was something that was going to come out on Hunter, they would immediately squash it. It comes out on Hunter with the laptop in October of 2020. And of course, they completely lie. They collude with big tech, with the FBI to silence the story. It is all completely illegal, but no one goes to prison for it. So it's just going to keep happening. It's become incentivized. MrBeast is getting sued for $100 million by the company behind the MrBeast burger. Kind of confusing. I don't know what MrBeast was doing suing, because MrBeast originally sued the company and now they're suing him back. I believe that's what's going on here, but if you guys remember, MrBeast came out on Joe Rogan, on all these podcasts, trying to flex about his big new ghost kitchen that he was running. He wouldn't have to pay for any, restaurants being built, and it turns out when you have all these different employees from all of these different companies making your burger, the quality of it is going to be extremely lackluster, and that's what started to happen, and he's completely shut it down. It's been a total disaster, and he comes out and sues because of it. Listen, that's the whole idea of a ghost kitchen. It is a complete gimmick. People thought he was a genius. I don't know why, and the whole thing was a failure, and now he's suing someone, and they're suing him back $100 million. He needs to just get out of this whole situation because it's a ghost kitchen. What do you expect? The quality is going to be terrible. You're not employing these people yourself. There are no standards. You're having people that you don't even know make your product. When you outsource this, you're putting your own name on a burger, and that burger is being made by people that you did not hire. That's a big issue, and that's going to create a massive problem in terms of quality control. And now MrBeast is really struggling when it comes to that. That doesn't surprise me at all. I don't know. There has to be some people that say, hey, maybe. Seems like MrBeast has a lot of yes men surrounding him, and he's trying to start all these different things. The burger thing, the ghost kitchen, it makes no sense. But that is that story. But guys, I just wanted to talk about Megan Rapinoe. Once again, arguing for equal pay. It makes no sense when you do research into it. They chose the safer payment structure when it came to the World Cup, and then they cried that the men got paid more when they chose a more risky structure. Overall, the idea of equal pay does not make sense in a capitalist society. That is not how it works. This is not a communist country. You do not get rewarded for being average. And what I mean by that, and listen, they've been way more successful, absolutely, than the men's team. I'm not disputing that, but that's also a thing where look at the other countries, look at the resources. A lot of them, they barely put any resources into the women's team. Either way, guys, that is the story surrounding that. And then the whole thing, you want equal pay, you need to get equal viewers, you need to generate equal amount of money. And it's like I'm arguing with a stone wall with these people. They don't understand. Guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Links to that's always in the description.